Hello guys, I'm Catmas and today I have a little review for you with a holiday theme. So the thing I'm gonna take a closer look at are these, the Colorona artist markers. And I'm not sure if I said that right at all. I've been practicing the whole afternoon and I still don't feel like I'm saying it right, but yeah. And this is a very rough sketch of what I'm gonna draw and color today in this video with these markers, so stay tuned for that. Also, I will leave a link in the info box below to where you can purchase the markers if you would be interested. I am not paid or anything to do this video, I got this sent to me for free, so all I say in this video will be my own and honest opinion. So let's take a look on the Colorona artist markers. It's a really nice carrying case with a little handle, and inside we have all these delicious markers. I made a color chart to see what all the colors I have to work with looks like, and it is a decent mix between lighter, mid-tones and darker color tones. I could wish for a bit more of the lighter tones though. There is also a colorless blender pen included. So here is what the marker itself looks like, with a rounded, squarish shape, which should prevent them from rolling off the table when drawing with them, so that is good. And it also have a rubbery grip. The color codes are written on the cap, and I love the name for this one, by the way, very confusing, but it's not written anywhere else on the pen. There is a lot of space on the marker where the name could have been written too, so it would be easier to see. And they have one pointy bullet nib and one wider chisel nib, and there is only this little picture on the pen that indicates which side is which for the nibs. And here we have my biggest problem with these markers. As you can see, the edges where the cap and the pen meets have this wave shape to them, and if you take off the cap and then just make a quarter of a turn and try to put it back on the pen again, it will not fit. Very unpractical. This is a real fail in the design, I think. In worst case, you won't even notice that you put it on the wrong way, and it will risk the marker to dry out. I put it on the wrong way more than half the time I use these markers. So let's try out these markers and I will let you know what I think about them. Here's my sketches, one rougher, one more refined, and then the final one. And this is drawn on this Copic paper that a friend sent to me from her trip to Japan. Thanks again, Jackie! And it's a bit more textured than the paper I normally use, so it will be very interesting to see how it works. And I'm drawing this cute little cat playing in a Christmas wreath. So the first thing I noticed when I made a color chart is that some colors doesn't really match the colors of their caps. The cap on the darker green was actually lighter than the cap on the lighter green, so it was very confusing sometimes. So I had to use the color chart a lot, which really slows down the whole drawing process. Same thing with the caps that doesn't fit properly and you have to turn them around and stuff. It really removes the whole workflow. But I do like the markers, they are very juicy, there is a lot of ink in one stroke. I also like the pointy bullet nib, it's a bit softer and it feels like a semi-brush nib kind of. It worked good for filling in the larger areas without getting streaky. And it also worked great for the smaller details since it's more pointy. However, they became a little dull and flat after a while. Not super flat, but they definitely lost a little bit of the pointiness. The colors blended together quite well, I think. I used a very dark purple to shade on the bow, and it mixed together nicely with the red, and the colors turned out very vibrant too. They looked really good, I think, and not streaky at all. They almost got this watercolor look to them, but I'm not sure if that's just the paper. And some other things that also slowed down the whole drawing process just a little is what I mentioned before, that the color codes aren't written anywhere on the pen besides on the cap. I didn't like that I had to pick up each pen and turn them around and look on the tiny little text on the cap. I would find it way more effective to have the names written on the actual pen. There is a lot of empty space to write on. It's also very hard to tell on which side the different nibs are. There is no mark or anything more than the tiny little images. They could have made a darker line by the cap for the smaller nib like Copics have, or even better, different colors or shapes of the actual cap as pro markers. Then you could easily tell which side is which without having to pick up the markers each time. But other than that, I did enjoy working with these markers. The ink is nice and bright and blends very well, and I do like the pointy semi-brush nib. They felt as good as any other markers I've tried, even if they were a little clumsy with the cap design, and yes, that annoyed me big time, so that's why I keep bringing it up all the time. The markers also seem quite affordable. I think that they are at the same price as pro markers or even cheaper. They are way less expensive than Copics at least, so I believe that this set would be pretty good for anyone who is starting with markers. I think that since I'm used to work with one kind of markers, I get very annoyed by these smaller things that I mentioned, but for anyone who haven't worked with markers before, this may be a very good set to start with. The set also have a very nice range of colors. I just wish there were a bit more of the gray and the red tones. So I think that's what I had to say about these Colorona artist markers. Some things are less good, but overall they seem to be quite affordable markers. I don't think I would change my pro markers and Copics for these ones, but as a starter set I would recommend them. There is a link in the info box below to where you can purchase these if you want to. I hope you liked this drawing. I think it turned out super cute. I love the little kitten. I had a lot of fun making this. I tried using all the colors in the set, and I think I did, besides some of the blues, a lot of green and red, but it's supposed to be a Christmas drawing. Let me know what you think about this video. Leave a like and a comment. I always appreciate your feedback. And subscribe and all that fancy stuff. Happy holidays everyone, and keep drawing my happy cats. Bye!